I thought I should introduce Floris, but he asked, no. I have much funnier people to take this presentation. So Floris, I leave it to you, and well, then the older one of us leave the stage.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Actually, I came to stage to tell you I'm not going to be on stage and introduce you to a lot of people. I just want to say one thing. What you're going to hear is about Climate Cafe. We had some introduction on that. We're going to see more of the results and how it is. They can tell that better than me. But we had some talks already in the last, well, yesterday, the day before. We were invited for a Climate Cafe in Lund. That's going to be in 16 September. So if you listen to all what you're going to see here and you like it, get in touch. We can do this in Lund in September, for example, and there are other cafes in the Philippines, Indonesia, and the Netherlands as well. But it might be nice, since we're here, to have a follow-up on this congress on this. So keep that in mind. If you want to be involved, get to me or Anna, who's going to take over the mic, and good luck.
So, good afternoon, everyone. So today, together with all those amazing people here, we are going to try to convince you that Climate Cafe is amazing. You definitely should participate in London, Rotterdam, and Cebu, and everywhere with us. So, as Flori said, I'm Anna. I'm an intern at the Global Center on Adaptation. I come from Brazil. I'm doing my master's in the Netherlands, and now Flori is supervising me. So this is why I'm here today. So you know that Climate Cafe is a totally different tool that we have been seeing those days. So of course our presentation is not a normal presentation as the other presentations. So to start with, I could say a lot of things: what Climate Cafe is, what we do, what is our goal. But why to do it if you can see what we did on those days? So let's check out a video that we did of what happened in Malmo in those past 2 days.
There are quite a lot of talks about climate change, and obviously with more and more extremes that we see every day, we need to do some adaptations, like to retrofit our current urban drainage system.
You know what's going on and what we might expect in the future, and we need to educate a larger mass.
It's a necessity that we need to be more aware of, and we need to have more knowledge within the area.
We start to understand that we have to do something.
Changing, everything is changing, nature is changing, you know, how we humans are changing.
Like new perspective, new skills, new experience, like with learning with you guys. This is something that I never done before.
See things differently, especially from solutions that are already implemented in the cities, and also a more technical side.
The experience of other countries in some domains.
Networking, so we can share experience with each other. It's about the future.
I like it.
2 days that we were in Malmo before the conference, we were with more than 20 people participating in what's called climatecafe. Climatecafe is all about this participatory workshop. We are going to show possible tools for adaptation strategies that we have. So here we have some examples of the XRFs that we used, and of course the full-scale test flooding that everything worked perfectly as we planned. And also we are going to try to show you today not only our perspective, of course, some results because it's interesting for us, for the people that participated, but we are going to focus also in the opinion of our young professionals that participated. To start with a little bit, because we know it's also important, we want to talk a little bit about results, so what we got. And for that, we have two of our amazing coordinators that are going to talk. To start with, we are going to start with Rui, that is going to talk about water quality.
Okay, thanks Anna for the introduction. So one of the things that we did this week was to monitor water quality and ecology, and for that we had some different sensors, multiparameter, and also an aquatic drone. In this Augustenburg, it was very shallow, the ponds, so we used a surface vessel. We also have an underwater one that we use in the Netherlands as well. But maybe in Lund then we could use also the underwater if there are deeper waters. So this is a view of the neighborhood. As you can see, the different numbers are different ponds that are all around this area that we went with, together with the students all around with the sensors that we put in the water. These are some images of the different ponds. So you can see, some have more algae, some have less algae. Also the transparency of the water was different from one place to the other. In some cases there was also some fountains. Some were bigger, some were larger. So by collecting data, then we hope that we can get more information so we can understand what's happening in this water system. That is very interesting. And so these are some first results that I plotted in this in different maps. So you can see different points corresponding to the different ponds. I would just pick one, for example, the dissolved oxygen. You can see that there were some places where it was a bit lower, and actually the lower value was in a wastewater connection that was from the laundry room. So that was getting connected to these ponds. So by collecting data, then we can understand how this affects the water quality in these ponds. We also used, of course, the aquatic drone, and our idea with this is to travel around these fountains to see if the effectiveness of these measures, if they get more oxygen in the water or not. So then we can see spatially how the impact is. And I also like to mention the algae sensor that we use here as well, to measure also chlorophyll, which was extremely high in some points. Actually, in most cases, actually above the detection limits of the sensor. And so the first graph is with chlorophyll, and the other one is the toxic cyanobacteria or blue-green algae. Now I give the word to Albert.
Okay, so what I brought to the Climate Cafe is a little sensor. At the Hanze University of Applied Sciences, we do quite a lot of research with this sensor. This is the one we have at the Hanze University. It's a sensor you can put on your bike that is able to measure the physiological equivalent of temperature. So on there we have a light intensity sensor, we have a wind sensor. Unfortunately, my intern hasn't finished them all yet, so what I brought to the Climate Cafe is a previous version of this that only measures humidity, air temperature, and infrared temperature. What we can do with those sensors is, first of all, we use them to engage citizens more. So in the Groningen, we use them to map out the local climate on the microscale, so to get citizens more involved in, their local climate zones. What we did here was we took the bike for 2 days. It's very hard because we don't really have control over the weather when we get here. So this is what we did on the first day. We started out in Augustenburg, and we cycled towards the city center. As you can see, it was quite a windy day that day, but when looking at the data, you can also already start seeing small patterns. I wouldn't suggest looking at the entire line, because while we were cycling, the wind became more and more strong, so you can clearly see that while we were cycling, the temperature started lowering. But the interesting thing with this data is that you can start seeing, well, I will send around the maps later so you can see in more detail, but you can start seeing small differences. For instance, this street here, through the New Harbor area, you can see a slight increase in temperature around places where there is more soil sealing, paving, etc., etc. So that's quite interesting, and the wind was quite strong, so by the time we got to the Baltic, it was quite cool there because, well, you have the air conditioning effect from the sea. The second day was more interesting because it was a cloudy day, so the temperature was stable throughout most of the trip we did. So what you start seeing here is you can start seeing certain spaces that are hotter and cooler. Unfortunately, I was not attending the cycling that day, so it was quite hard to interpret the data because, well, I get a lot of GPS data with time and etc. So it takes some time to get some useful information out of it. But what you can start seeing quite clearly is, well, the more constructed zones, I think this is the area around the triangle area, that's quite hot. The other side of the road is a more green road. You can start seeing very nice differences between it. Urban green space really helps. So what we hope to teach people using the sensor is that your local climate is a thing, that you can have spaces right next to your door that are slightly cooler than what you normally do. And that is what we try to do here.
So now that we had all the part of the results and everything we have been seeing in those 2 days in a more technical side, for us it's extremely important to know how the young professionals that were participating in this event, they also think about it, and actually how it changes their life. Because they were there, that's from 10 different nationalities, a lot of different backgrounds. So unfortunately we don't have that much time, but I will just pass the word to them, and they will talk very briefly to us what Climate Cafe brought them. So what is the difference? How was participating in this? So I start with Kartika.
Hi everyone, my name is Kartika. I'm from Indonesia. My background is chemical engineering, and now I'm studying in water resources engineering in Lund University. So, the one thing that made me very it's kind of like opened my mind or broader is when I learned about climate scans. It is it is an app already explained by Flores, and it's very nice, especially when you can map where is the problem area. It's like we have we have a lot of problem area even in Sweden, and I always thought it was perfectly constructed, yet Ansel tell me that no, it's not. So it's opened my knowledge and giving my new perspective about what is better. So yeah, that's it.
Hey, my name is Sara Lindbusch. I'm a Swede, and I work as a PhD at Luleå University of Technology. I think the Climate Cafe, for me, brought new insights into what others are doing within the same field. It broadens my perspective of the whole field. It was really interesting also to have the discussions with all the different backgrounds about problems that I already have my opinion about, but to hear what others are thinking about the same problems.
Hello everybody, my name is Daniel, and I'm also studying in Luleå. So I study environmental engineering, and for me, I think with Climate Cafe, I liked how you focused on how you can present information to what we call normal people, because not everybody is a stormwater nerd. I know from the presentations these last 2 days, there's a lot of stormwater nerds in the crowd, especially the radar guys. But when I started at university, you're in a protected environment where everybody has the same background. But now when we start working, I imagine I'll meet other people who have other thoughts about things. So I liked how you focused on how we could present a result in an easy to understand way. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My name is Hao Yu. I'm from China, and right now I'm doing my PhD studies at Luleå Technology University. During these 2 days, I actually found a really fantastic design of SUDS, which was put together with a gallipot. I mean, we engineers are kind of conservative in some ways. Like, we have been using this conventional system for 100 years. And probably we are going to continue using that for another several decades. And this kind of design is really bridging the gap between the green infrastructures and the traditional system. And this really offers a good taste for my future research work. Thank you.
Yeah, our time is up. So.
A quick one.
Future is ours.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, my name is Andreas. I'm also a environmental engineer from Luleå University of Technology. My biggest insights from this 2 days of fieldwork and workshop events was probably, as Daniel said, the information and how to spread information in an understandable way, and the lack thereof. I've lived in Malmo for 4 years previously, and I have never heard Augustenborg being mentioned as many times as these days. I will never forget it either. And yeah, so communication, that's my biggest insight.
Yeah, you just
talking it. Oh, very good, excellent.
Try.
My name is Robert. I just started my PhD in Luleå, and I work for a company called NCC, a construction company. And one thing I learned is that we sometimes don't know much about technology in the construction business. And I learned, for example, that the XRF might be a real money saver in projects I've been to, actually. And then we're talking about millions sometimes. So it was. I'm going to bring a lot of new information, especially back to my company, actually. And I also personally like the mapping the suds was really fun, and I will start doing that. So I'll be really nerdy when I get back home to Stockholm again. Oh, and just one last word also. I have to thank Floris and his great crew for the fantastic guiding round in Augustenborg. I always thought you have to travel a long way to learn new things. Yeah, that was a very nice experience. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Adina. I want only to say that this was for me a place to find new ideas for sustainable development.
Okay, as you can see, we just wanted to show that this is all about Climate Cafe. Climate Cafe is about using people to help us going through this problem of climate adaptation. Of course, I would like to thank Floris, Guri, Pui, Allard and Antal, and of course Annexes and the Global Center of Adaptation. And I hope you really enjoyed this presentation and that you're going to be with us for the next Climate Fest. So thank you.
Thank you. Now we just have one microphone, so if you have questions, scream them out and some volunteer will answer. Don't scream.
I want to thank Helena Johansson for a really nice tour on the roof.
The roof.
Really, you should go there.
You have to speak out the loudest you can.
Will any of you use any of the techniques that you've trialed in your own research?
No.
No, the answer's good.
No, but the...
and you use the microphone.
I don't feel. No, the... no. XRF.
Yeah.
No, but what the bicycle and heating technology, I have never heard about it. So I'm interested in seeing what else you can do with that kind of technology, because the other ones I can already knew.
Okay. Scream out. Really loud. Really loud.
I'm seeing you holding that thing in your hand, yeah. But can you just tell quick how it works?
Oh, it's it measures pollution or heavy metals. So it has a wide range of elements that you can measure, from magnesium up to uranium. And it's a quick scan. It takes you 1 minute, and you get results on the spot. And also you can download the data. So this is a really quick, useful tool to get an impression of how polluted the area is. And of course, you should always quality control it with having soil samples for the lab, so you can know that your results are valid. So highly recommended. And we have a poster if you
So we have cool Norwegian ladies as well, not only the cool Danish radar guys. Some more? Some shy to scream afterwards. But then we say thank you.